He's Mr. Irfan Khan's son. It's not easy to deal with. Also, Mr. Irfan Khan passed away at a very crucial age in his life. He was a teen. If he's harming himself, that's wrong. You have to understand what that boy has been through. I understand it more than anybody else. My heart goes out to him. I was crying for him yesterday. I was crying for that kid yesterday, but I'm like, I know what you feel. I shot Jaane too, and then I went to Whistling Woods. तो 1-2 साल में मैंने कुछ किया नहीं, पढ़ाई वढ़ाई कर रहा था मैं. And then I got thrown out of Whistling Woods.
What did you do?
For doing
Saawariya was the first offer which came your way?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I was in rehab, unfortunately, then.
How old were you?
I was 18. And I was
Okay.
I was 18 years old. I was in rehab, and Mr. Bhansali called my landline of the...
And he was aware you were in rehab?
He wasn't aware. I developed a hate for her and my father, for both my parents, because being unavailable and growing up and just everything being different and people treating me different and getting pity love, and I think because of that I started hating them. I didn't want to be associated with them. And I mentioned there briefly that because I had a failed marriage, I was so adamant about marriage and love, and it was a huge mental block. Sorry, I've completely lost my chain of thought. No, it usually happens to me. I'm usually I'm a scatterbrain usually. ADHD. I have to just putting it out there. I was diagnosed with child ADHD that was never treated, and then now I have adult ADHD that I am treating. Life has thrown adversities at me since a very, very young age. My grandparents saw the worst of me. Those last few years. I was a raging addict. My grandmother died seeing me an addict. That's something I regret. Career in my 20s, I was getting a lot of male attention from the gay. It was quite direct in my 20s. Like people want, अब तो MeToo वीटू आ गया, अब तो लोग डर गए हैं थोड़े से. तब तो हमारे 20s में तो यार खुल्लम खुल्ला थे. आके हाथ आ जाता था, यहाँ से एक हाथ, यहाँ से एक हाथ, वहाँ से एक हाथ कहीं पीछे आ गया. So out of vengeance, I ended up following thousands of pretty women on Instagram because I was like, I was so good in my marriage, and why did this happen to me? And अब दिखाता हूँ मैं अब. Ladies, beware. The beast is unleashed. And that was my mindset. And literally, out of those few thousand women I have followed, Priya was one of them. This is trouble. Game over. This is it, Prateik. You are done. Game over.
Hi guys, this is Ankita Bhalla. You're tuned to Bollywood Bubble, and for the episode of Let's Talk today, Prateik Smita Patil is going to tell me, first of all, how does it feel to be this guy who's in such a happy space, in a fresh chapter of his life.
Yes.
Everything touch wood, I would say finally going as per the God's plan as yours.
In my words, goddesses and gods. हम लोग ना, sorry, I'm going to cut you there. I'm going to just say something. We are conditioned to say God, he. भाई goddesses क्यों नहीं? कहाँ गए goddesses? वो भी हैं.
Exactly.
And why can't we first mention goddesses? Like ये मेरा practice है एक साल से. एक साल से कि मैं God has the answers. Gods and goddesses. The goddesses, if the goddesses and gods will, then it shall prevail. But yes, goddesses. The goddesses and gods have blessed me with this beautiful time in my life and this beautiful chapter in my life, and I'm extremely grateful. I'm happy. I'm loved. I want to give love. I want to receive love, and I have a beautiful family. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 beautiful dogs who are my children. My wife calls them our nepo-kids.
I like that. That's a cool definition for the nepo-kids. Yeah.
She's like, ये तुम्हारे nepo-kids. ये तुम्हारे बैंड्रा के nepo-kids हैं. I'm like, ठीक है भाई. I can't argue with that. ये बढ़िया ऐसे पॉश अपार्टमेंट में रह रहे 2
एसी
चलते हुए खाना पीना मिल रहा है, बम साफ होता है, सुसु साफ होती है, सब साफ होता है. ये है इसको कहते हैं nepo kids. ये अलग level है nepo kids का. But yeah, I mean, jokes apart, I'm extremely happy. Touch wood, knock on wood, nazar na lage. And I'm looking forward to every day, even more with her and this new forever role that I have accepted. ये कैरेक्टर कभी मैं छोड़ नहीं सकता हूँ हस्बैंड का कैरेक्टर कभी छोड़ नहीं सकते ऐसा वैसा कैरेक्टर है ना वो कि so this is a
It's a happy space.
It's a
I would
happy
just
space.
put it that way.
I can't wait to wake up every single day next to her and live this wonderful life with her.
How's it marrying your best friend?
Oh, you said that right. We are literally best friends. You know what? I'm so lucky that I got to marry my best friend. And everyone doesn't have that privilege and honor. And I find myself extremely fortunate. We have so much fun. You know, friendship अलग होती है. Obviously, relationships और love अलग होते हैं. लेकिन friendship में जो मस्ती होती है, वो अलग तरीके की मस्ती होती है. And I think we have best of both worlds, and I think we're very, very fortunate and grateful to have each other, have this life together, and very fortunate and grateful and blessed that the goddesses and gods made us meet.
I'm going to take note of goddesses and gods today.
We're just looking forward to this wonderful life together.
Prateik, you found love again.
Yes.
But as humans, always when we have I won't say a bitter, but an experience which was not what we thought of it would be in our life at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we give ourselves another chance. It takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of self-convincing.
Yes.
And introspection that, am I ready for it? Will I be able to do it better this time?
Yes.
How did you as an individual prepare yourself to be vulnerable again, to attract love?
You know, that's... I love that we were talking about this off camera. Yes, off camera we were talking about it. And I mentioned there briefly that because I had a failed marriage, I was so adamant about marriage and love, and it was a huge mental block after what I went through. And I said, you know, it was just, I had made up my mind that it was never an option. Love and marriage was never an option because I gave it my all. I did give it my all in my previous marriage, and I stepped up to the role that I had to play, no matter what life threw at me and that relationship threw at me. I wanted to be, you know, the best partner. So I gave it my all, and it unfortunately didn't work out, and so I was extremely bitter, and it was just extremely bitter about love and marriage. But as I mentioned, and we've been having a laugh about it, divine timing. It was the goddesses and gods' timing, you know. It was just their divine timing, and it just happened. I wasn't looking for it, and neither was she, neither was Priya. We weren't looking for it, and we met. We were meant to meet at this particular time in our lives. I don't think it would have worked out if we met earlier in a different phase of our lives. I don't think it would have worked out. So it was just divine timing, you know. I think it just happened. And it also, because I was, you know, we kind of, she had just broken up. She had just broken off her engagement. At the same time, I was going through a divorce. So I was going through a divorce, and she had broken off her previous engagement, and we happened to meet in lockdown. ये लॉकडाउन का प्यार है बिल्कुल
Nice one.
सब बिल्कुल लॉकडाउन का प्यार है और काफ़ी लोगों के लिए लॉकडाउन नेगेटिव रहा, लेकिन
काफी लोगों की शादियां टूट गई लॉकडाउन में. आपने प्यार ढूंढ लिया.
हम हमारे लिए तो ऑपोजिट हुआ. हमने प्यार ढूंढ लिया और हमारी शादी पक्की हो गई. आई मीन द बिगिनिंग. Yeah, it happened so organically. It was so strange. I was very angry at my situation, and I was very vengeful. So out of vengeance, I ended up following thousands of pretty women on Instagram.
Oh.
because I was like, I was so good in my marriage, and why did this happen to me? And ab dikhata hu main, ab
I'll be the...
now ladies beware. Basically, that was my.
It was ladies versus Prateik.
it was ladies versus Prateik. Literally, it literally was. It was like, ladies beware. The beast is unleashed, and that was my mindset. And literally, out of those few thousand women I have followed, Priya was one of them.
Oh.
On Instagram, yes, and so we happened to follow each other back, and for the first few months we didn't really strike up a conversation. We just kind of
Really
comment a fire here and there, or and finally I had the courage to reply on her story, which didn't kind of we ended up striking up a conversation, and next thing I know, I've asked her for a drive. Next thing I know, we're going for a drive. And next thing I know, we're meeting every day, and the rest is history. Here we're married.
I know it might not be the best question to ask, but when did you know that this is the person, this is the chance, this is the, this is the meaning to love or life or marriage I was looking for? How do you identify the person? How do you know in the sea of, as you said, so many women, you just found her, but how her?
Yeah. As cheesy as it may sound.
Yes, please, go ahead.
As cheesy as it may sound, our first kiss was it. I was like, trouble. This is trouble. Game over. This is it, Prateik. You are done. Game over.
Wow.
There is no game to play anymore.
All the ladies have to exit.
Literally, it was literally that our first kiss, and I'm like, this feels like trouble, and then things, we started dating, and and eventually we started living together. And I think a year of living, I always knew it was special, and it was nothing I'd experienced ever before in any relationship. Also, we were older. I was about 33 and a half when I met her. And we started living with each other, and I always, we met in the first few months. I knew it was extremely special because our connection and our friendship was so unique, and it was so easy and organic that I knew it was something special. But then when we started living together, it had been a year, and we had survived without killing each other. And we survived without killing each other. We survived. We adjusted to each other's habits. We adjusted to each other's lifestyles, and choti choti cheezein jo in the grand scheme of things are extremely important.
Yes.
And it just, everything just fit.
You're giving me a lot of confidence that I can find a partner.
You absolutely can. मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको. मैंने किताब बंद कर दी थी. बंद करते मैंने उसको जला के फेंक दी थी, मतलब डस्टबिन में.
Then it reemerged from ashes as a rising phoenix.
फिर Amazon पार्सल आ गया मेरे गौर से एक Amazon पार्सल भेज दिया, प्यार की किताब वापस खोल ली.
Touch wood.
But yeah, it was literally, we that's exactly what it was. We were like, holy moly, we are so compatible. We are so compatible. Everything fits. We like the same kind of food. We like the same kind of shows. Only we had the few things we were literally polar opposites were music. And was music and एक दो और चीजें थी, but it was still kind of, you still kind of could find a way around it, you know. But the main things was same kind of food, love for dogs, both extremely lazy people. So I mean, if you give us,
Your home buddies.
Home buddies, extremely lazy. पजामे में बैठते दिन भर और टीवी देखते रहते, shows देखते रहते. I mean, that's obviously when we have an off day, of course. Yeah, we rather be lazy than proactive. We're kind of like that, bad influences on each other, but in a cute way, not anything destructive or anything that will harm us. Yeah, it was just, I'm like, this is it. In my head, I'm like, this is so easy with her. Everything is so easy.
Answer you gave some time back where somebody asked you that what is the funniest rumor about you, and you said like, I am done telling people I'm not gay.
Yes.
What was that about? Where did that sprung from?
I think I don't know where that sprung from. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it was.
Maybe it was a film I did. Maybe it was Cobalt Blue. Maybe because of Cobalt Blue. Also, I think early on in my career, in my 20s, I was getting a lot of male attention from the gay, from gay people, men, gay men, and I was getting hit on a lot, and he was quite direct in my 20s. Like people want, अब तो MeToo वीटू आ गया, अब तो लोग डर गए हैं थोड़े से, तो डर गए थोड़े से कि अरे यार कुछ हो जाएगा. तब तो हमारे 20s में तो यार सब खुल्लम खुल्ला थे, आके हाथ आ जाता था, यहाँ से एक हाथ, यहाँ से एक हाथ, वहाँ से एक हाथ कहीं पीछे आ गया. तो आपको you have to handle the situation with care and also and be very smart about it, not offending people.
Yes.
So I think that's what it was. I think lots of gay men thought I was gay. I don't know
And
why.
you were available.
Yeah, and it was just, I'm like, I love you, but I don't.
It's for too funny. I just wanted to ask because I was like, why when already on one side somebody is calling him gay, and on the other side there were so many rumors. Of course, then you got married, and then of course you found love. Like, where this puzzle jigsaw pieces coming from? So I'll ask him directly.
Then it was. I think it was also when I did Cobalt Blue. I think people
just presumed
again. अरे नहीं, बाय तो होगा ये. गे नहीं तो ये बाय तो जरूरी है, जरूर बाय होगा ये.
ये इंडस्ट्री में सबको सेक्सुअलिटी में इतना इंटरेस्ट क्यों है?
No, but you know what? We're living in such times today that it's such a norm.
Yeah, I mean,
it's such a norm, and it's okay. Unfortunately, being gay in our industry, in Bollywood, will still be a hoo-ha, and
a taboo.
Will still be a taboo and a hoo-ha, and अरे ये तो gay है, अरे ये actress तो लड़कियों को पसंद करती, अरे ये actor तो लड़कों को पसंद करता है. इंसान है भाई.
To each his own.
हॉलीवुड में सब एक्टर्स को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, whether तुम मर्द को पसंद करते हो, औरत को पसंद करते हैं. Look at Florence Pugh, she's
openly.
She's openly. I forget the man who is the actor who consecutively been nominated for Oscars.
I got that, but I'm not getting the name. Yes.
Openly and proud, and
your craft can't be subjected to your sexuality.
And it's not a thing. It's not. You don't. It's sad that it's perceived differently.
I sometimes feel we are going a little regressive then instead of going progressive over things.
It's sad that it's perceived differently over here. Love is love.
Love is love.
Come on. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But Prateik, what made you then at some point in your career also say this thing that has single-handedly destroyed my career? I mean,
I did.
Why?
I did. I unfortunately made very bad choices. in terms, I did. You know what? And I won't say I could have done anything differently because I was going through something,
Yes.
and I was going through something since
Yeah, we'll
a
speak
young
about
age.
it, of course. But
since a young age I was going through something. So it's, yes, of course, I made the choice of subjecting to alcohol and substance abuse again. I made that decision. I gave in to weakness. I gave in. It was all me, 100%. Yes, there were valid reasons, if I may. Yes, there were. It was far more complicated than it seems, than even talking about it.
yes, I agree. Because there are triggers. There are triggers in daily life. I'm not saying that what you did was right, but
It's
as
not-
humans,
yes,
we
100%.
do falter.
Absolutely. So yes, I do believe I did. Even though I couldn't help making those decisions and making those choices, but yes, unfortunately, the choices that I made did
Led you to
bring-
a certain point.
did bring my downfall. Did bring a downfall in my professional and personal life both.
Prateik, you've also been very vocal about the journey you have had to sobriety, to, leaving that particular part of your life, be it with drugs or be it with alcohol, be it with rehab. And it takes a lot of courage for a young boy, maybe who was just in his teens, not knowing where to go. And I'm not defending it, but sometimes you don't know, you're lost.
Sure.
And you don't know you don't know better.
Sure.
To bounce back again and again, it takes a certain kind of resilience.
Yes.
Where do you find that strength each time?
You know what? I don't know where, but I'm extremely proud of myself. I have to.
Should
I,
be.
I
You
have
definitely
to. I
should
have to
be.
mention, because life has thrown adversities at me since a very, very young age, and I have somehow managed to overcome. I have somehow managed to adapt, accept, adapt, and overcome always. And I truly believe that I have a guardian angel. I truly believe I'm being protected since a very, very young age. I truly believe my mother has protected me always throughout my life, and I do believe she's still here and protecting me. And now I have 3 guardian angels. Her parents are also with her, so I have three very, very precious guardian angels, and I feel like I have somehow always been given the strength. The strength has always come to me somehow. I have always found a way to come out stronger, and I'm extremely proud of myself, and I'm extremely grateful for that guardian angel I have and always had.
You know what? I'm glad you said you're proud of yourself, because the size society we live in, we all as humans commit mistakes at some point or the other.
Sure,
But not everyone is given the redemption arc.
sure.
कहीं ना कहीं सबको हमेशा ये बार बार फील कराया जाता है कि आपने ये गलती करी, आप इससे बेटर
अभी
नहीं
भी
कर
नहीं,
सकते.
बिल्कुल अभी ऐसे नहीं लोग फील कराते, बिल्कुल अभी भी कराते. It's you know, people that go through such drastic mistakes in their life and have to
Yes.
deal with it, I think, and such drastic trauma, if I may, and have to deal with it. Sorry, I completely lost my chain of thought.
I know it's a heavy one. So sorry to what you said.
No, I'm so sorry. No, it usually happens to me. I'm usually I'm a scatterbrain usually. ADHD. I have to just putting it out there. I was diagnosed with child ADHD that was never treated, and then now I have adult ADHD that I am treating, which is fine,
This is fine.
which is great.
But again, as I say, you're navigating it for me. That is the most proudest part.
Yes,
You own it and you navigate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, but you're talking about that how people still make you feel that बहुत बड़ी गलती कर दी, but सुधारी भी तो.
बिल्कुल. I feel like बिल्कुल सुधारी. It's, you know, I feel like every time I'm reminded of अरे तुमने क्या किया, I also am reminded of हाँ लेकिन मैंने वो भी किया है.
Exactly.
हाँ मैंने ये किया, लेकिन मैंने खुद अपने आप से,
Selective.
अपने विल पावर से उसको बदला है.
You bounce back each
And
time.
bounce back each time, and yeah, I'm bloody proud of myself.
I am very proud of the fact that you own it and you have done everything in your capacity, that how many times you've fallen down, you have picked yourself up? Because trust me, normally people would not even come offer and help. They don't
Yes.
even encourage people to get up.
Yes.
They're like,
Yes.
it's okay, the pitfalls are fine.
Yeah.
No, why not?
It's you know what? Fortunately, the time we're living in, it's a much more open discussion now. Mental health
Yes.
and trauma and getting help for it, you know, and it's easier today.
People don't subject you to, I'm sorry for the word, but बहुत
Please.
easily it's सब dismiss कर दिया जाता है when किया जाता था at least when you talk about mental health and going through emotional
ये
turmoil.
पागल है।
पागल. How can
मैं
you?
पागल थोड़ी हूँ, मुझे थेरेपी चाहिए, थेरेपी की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं पागल नहीं हूँ.
I mean,
This needs change, and it is slowly but surely, but
it
it's
still needs a lot of work.
It absolutely is a lot of work. There is so much work still there. I mean, the most educated people still think it's a taboo.
Yes, they do.
Still think it's a taboo. Still think, अरे नहीं. क्यों?
तुम्हें क्या बीमारी है? This is what I heard when I ended therapy. And I'm like, बीमारी क्या है? I am entering therapy for my own betterment. I think I need some emotional cognizance of how my emotions are at point, and I would like to align them better. But how can somebody dismiss somebody saying तुम्हें कोई बीमारी और तुम पागल हो?
It's ridiculous. Fortunately, it's changing.
Touch wood.
Yes, that's right.
And I think everyone should get a chance at it. Because yesterday when I was seeing, I'm bringing something very out of topic. When Babil put out something,
Oh yes, I saw that.
I just found it heartbreaking
I feel
because
My
he
heart goes
chose
out to
maybe a medium which was too public for such an admission. But if you go a little further and see the stress side of it, there's so much stress actors have to go
Absolutely.
through.
Also,
The
he's-
legacy you have to
It's a
fall.
mistake.
Take
Irfan
ahead.
Khan's son. It's not easy to deal with. Also, Mr. Irfan Khan passed away at a very crucial age in his life. He was a teen. He was a
And I think
teenager.
you related to it because you
I
have
related,
seen.
and in fact, I've been having debates about this with few of my friends and stuff. I said, absolutely. Look, I whatever it is, if he's harming himself, that's wrong.
Of course.
If he's harming himself, it's wrong. But you have to put it into perspective, and you have to understand what that boy has been through. I understand it more than anybody else.
Yes.
I maybe it was a little easier for. I don't know if it was easier for me or he lived a life with his father.
And then you lose somebody who's the center of your universe that completely.
He lived a life
Flips you
with his
off the
father,
axis.
and his father made it beyond anybody in this industry could make it.
I mean, Hollywood and how?
Hollywood and how, and bloody hell how.
What an actor.
And what an actor. What an actor. So my heart goes out to him. I was crying for him yesterday. I was crying for that kid yesterday, but I'm like, I know what you feel. Like, I was a kid, I was a child to a legend who never existed.
I mean, you can't compare Smita Patil.
No, you can. You absolutely can. In terms of, they were both
That's
legends.
Yeah, I mean,
Of,
the kind of pressure you children have to go through. Okay, first decide that we want to be an actor, knowing that your parents come from like such a huge credibility factor.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary you're always going to be able to match up to it because everyone has a different journey.
Absolutely.
It's not about how talented you are.
Yeah, sure.
God has given everyone of us different journeys.
Absolutely.
The constant scrutiny, the constant heat you people
Yeah.
raise at.
It's you have to take it with a pinch of salt. The way where it's comes with the territory, comes with the profession, especially if you're born into a your famous parents. It's not easy. Definitely, I feel for Babil. I wish him only well. I wish him all the love and healing, and I know his father's looking out for him. I know he is. There's no doubt.
There's no
His
doubt.
father is his guardian angel. There's no doubt.
I've lost a parent, so I know that losing a parent always, of course, however difficult it is, I'm not getting into it, but yes, you have a guardian angel.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. There have been situations and times I knew that he knew it before me that it's time to exit.
Wow.
Like, it's time to exit, however hard it is, because someone is there, out there to tell you.
Absolutely.
It might be difficult at that point of time, but it's the best for you.
I'm getting goosebumps.
So I think that's, but
Oof.
that's how it is. When the young you decided that you wanted to come to films, Saawariya was the first offer which came your way.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I was in rehab, unfortunately, then.
How old were you?
I was 18. And I was
What?
I was
Okay.
18 years old. I was in rehab, and Mr. Bhansali called my landline of the.
And he was aware you were in rehab at that
He wasn't
moment.
aware.
Okay.
He wasn't aware, and he wasn't aware. And I don't think he was aware of how old I was either, because I was very young. I was 18.
Because for him, you were Smita Patil's son,
Ji.
and of course, he would love to have
Ji, ji, ji.
collaborated.
तो हाँ पहले 18 साल का था मैं, and I came to know a year or two later, I think my grandfather told me कि संजय लीला बंसाली का फ़ोन आया था आपके बारे में, लेकिन आप हॉस्पिटल में थे. Okay. So yeah, that was, I mean, but
Do you hold regrets?
a few. Otherwise, bigger picture, no, because everything that happened has made me who I am today, and shaped me and molded me into the person I am today. So, bigger picture, no regrets, but a few here and there.
May I ask one such regret?
One, you know, it's my grandparents saw the worst of me. You know, those last few years, I was a raging addict, and they my grandmother died seeing me an addict. That's something I regret, and I just wish I could have. I keep saying this, you know. I wish I could have shown them the man I am today, and lived a life with them as this person. You know,
But they would be seeing it.
they are seeing it absolutely, and they're proud, and I feel them, I feel their presence, and I feel my guardian angels.
Guardian angels, we both agree. When you got Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, it opened to such a beautiful success.
Yes.
You were loved.
Yes.
Everyone was talking about you, especially I still remember the headlines were Smita Patil's son makes foray into the films, and this entire attention on you, the spotlight on you.
I had no idea though it was happening. I had no idea that was happening. I had no idea that was happening.
How come?
I mean, I got a little bit of an idea when the film released, and everyone wanted to take my interviews and stuff. तब मुझे,
Everyone wanted a piece of you, let's put it this way.
or if you say so, but I ठीक है थोड़ा attention मिल रहा है क्योंकि film release हो गई है. But I didn't know it was a thing that people are excited to see Smita's son.
Yeah, they started to, I think it was like seeing her in you. Did
Yes.
it become daunting? As a young boy?
If I think about it now, I'm sure it can, but it didn't, thankfully so, because I think I was so I was just enjoying all that attention, if I may, and just you know, and just new world, and I was just exploring this new world, and it was I was just enjoying it.
But there was a certain career slump also after Jaane Tu. Do you think that the uncertainty in the film industry, or that very easily we typecast, young faces?
You mean after Jaane Tu?
Yeah, like the kind of films which everyone was hoping that, the kind of
yeah.
stardom
Yes.
which will come your way. In that sense,
It was a different.
It was a very
trajectory,
different
if I may.
trajectory.
Yes, if I may. Yes.
What would you think what went wrong there? I mean, if you introspected it.
The funny part is, the Jaane Tu released, and I shot Jaane Tu, and then I went to Whistling Woods.
Oh, okay.
So I was studying a little bit here and there, so that was kind of a slump, because I'm like, maybe I'll finish studying and I don't know what I'm doing, and तो एक दो साल मैंने कुछ किया नहीं, पढ़ाई वढ़ाई कर रहा था मैं. Then I got thrown out of Whistling Woods.
Why? What did you do?
For doing I got thrown out of Whistling Woods for doing drugs. And anyway, then we go, that's...
Yeah, we are not going there. We just spoke about it, so yeah.
But again, it was funny. You know, when I think about it now, I'm like, it's just funny. I got thrown out of every college and school I went to. I was a menace. Anyway. and then I came back, and then I was kind of, kya karu types. And then I met Shabana ji, and then Shabana ji took me under wing, and I mean, I not met her, kind of reconnected, if I may. And then she was kind of trying to, you know, prep me up to become an actor and stuff like that. And,
it was during that time then Dhobi Ghat came and you got like the...
Dhobi Ghat came after the release of Jaane. So I think we shot in 2005 or 6.
One of your finest works.
Hanji?
It's one of your finest works.
Thank you. I still don't believe what people see in that character, because I literally didn't know what I was doing. ना मैंने स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ा, ना मैंने होमवर्क किया,
ऐसे ही साइन कर
ऐसे ही भाई मुझे माय मोटिवेशन, मुझे 50,000 रुपीज मिल रहे हैं, मैं जाके दोस्तों के साथ पार्टी करने वाला हूँ।
मुझे भी ये मोटिवेशन चाहिए,
मुझे बस यही, जब मेरे पैसे कब आएंगे, जाके पार्टी करूंगा, मैं रेव जाऊंगा मैं दोस्तों के साथ, बस यही मेरा मोटिवेशन था।
So okay, so you shot this like before Jaane to...
Yeah. So I was straight I was straight out of rehab. I was out of rehab and I went to Mr. Prahlad Kakkar. My nani sent me कि इसका कुछ करो, इसका नहीं तो ये पड़े रहेगा घर पे, यहाँ वहाँ भटकेगा, कुछ शुरू होगा उसका वापस, उसके कांड जो anyway शुरू हो गए थे। Rehab didn't stop me. So I came out fresh out of rehab. I went to Mr. Kakkar. I was, you know, he put me in a few commercials. I was doing some running around internship कर रहा था मैं, भाग दौड़ कर रहा था, मैंने 2 commercial किए. Commercial से मुझे my pictures were sent to Amir Khan production for an audition and stuff. Okay, we like him. We call him for audition. And then I gave the audition. They loved me. I started prep, and next thing I know, I was on the film. Completely unprepared, and I don't
zero
know
idea.
Zero idea of what the hell I was doing. लेकिन निकल गया था. Hats off to, all credit goes to Abbas Tyrwala. All credit goes to. मैं थोड़ा सा लूँगा.
Please लो ना, मैं तो कह रही हूँ लेना.
थोड़ा सा लूँगा मैं. बाकी सब मैं अब्बास सर को दूँगा. But yeah, and then I shot the film, and then I went to Whistling Woods, and then I got thrown out, and then I came back, and it was kind of a lull, and then I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was
that's when you met Shabana ji as you started.
Yeah, and then you know it was kind of you know it was just kind of lingering in the middle somewhere, and then Jaane released. And it was just kind of kya kar raha, I was just kind of in a lull, and suddenly Jaane released, and then everything changed. Everyone started, as you said, wanted a piece of me and started getting a lot of attention. And that's it. Then once Jaane 2 released, and then Dhobi Ghat happened. And as you said, it wasn't a conventional kind of film.
Yeah.
You know, to do. You know, there's something I always didn't want to go the conventional Bollywood way. There's something maybe the lifestyle I lived of knowing that I was a star kid, but I didn't live like one. I wasn't.
Your life was completely different.
My life was completely different. I didn't have a Bollywood protected upbringing. It was a different kind of protection. It was, you know, overprotection, if I may. So मुझे एक नफरत आ गई थी कि मुझे स्टार्स की तरह, स्टार किड्स की तरह मैं नहीं करूँगा लॉन्च वॉन्च अपने फैमिली के साथ, मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है. And it was just kind of a script came to me, you know, after, and I obviously went, and it was a beautiful script. The only thing I was like, again, it was kind of I was oscillating. Conventional Bollywood karna hai, lekin thoda sa karna hai ya nahi karna hai. But then I was like, at least the film should be a film where I'm opposite a lead girl and I'm singing and dancing and I'm romancing or doing action and you're doing some cool things. So in my head I'm like, ठीक है यही करना है, लेकिन वो conventional way family के through वैसे नहीं करना. But this script came to me and I'm like, this is brilliant. I absolutely love reading the script, but I'm a Dhobi. I'm a Dhobi. I'm like, do I want to be a Dhobi? Then you obviously you talk to your advisors and your family members and your team and this and that, and it was literally a leap of faith I took. I shut my eyes and I'm like, you just jump. Take the leap of faith and just jump. The script is right. Everything's right. The only problem is that you're Dhobi. But it is still Amir Khan Productions. You're still the lead. Sort of.
Yes.
It's his wife's first film. What can go wrong? Just do it. And I did it, and I
open to rave reviews.
Wow, yes. And it gave me one of my most precious, my most celebrated moments of my life. I had a standing ovation at Toronto International Film Festival when I was all of 23 years old, I think.
Yeah, I think 22, 23 was...
So 22 or 23 years old, I had a standing ovation at Toronto Film Festival. I was like, what am I doing here?
So it still didn't strike you like that, as we started off, that the spotlight is on you. Everyone is comparing you to Prateik Smita Patil.
Then it started, but I still it didn't faze me somehow, because I hadn't accepted of being her son. I was still battling with my own identity, if I may. I hadn't accepted how I have now. I've embraced it with grace and pride, and now I am Prateik Smita Patil, and I've completely embraced her identity and merged it with me. Then it was difficult. It was rather I was very confused with who I was.
Was it also coming from the space? I'm sorry to interrupt, because unfortunately, while you are Smita Patil's son, but you didn't spend time with your mom.
Sure.
So
That's exactly what it was. So, and because of that, I developed a hate for her and my father, for both my parents, because them
being unavailable.
Being unavailable and growing up and just everything being different and people treating me different and getting pity love and and it was just different, and I think because of that I started hating them, and I didn't want to be associated with them. So as much as people were comparing me to her, and I'm like, "ठीक है, जो है सो है." It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. It was more like let people speak, let them say what they have to say. This doesn't bother me. It was a part of their life. They are their memories and it's something they experienced with this person, and I didn't. So I don't care. And also because I was kind of fighting this battle of, do I love her? Do I love them? Do I want to be their son? It just didn't affect me,
Is it like today at this age, if you see back, I'm trying to understand the idea. Are we capable of hating our parents at some point of time?
1,000%. 1,000%.
And it comes from the fact that maybe subconsciously
For a mother.
we hold them responsible for what we have been going through.
Sure, but that's only, I won't say, listen, also if you talk about it very generically.
Yeah, very generically, surface level.
It's surface level. In our teens, whether we've had trauma or not trauma, we hate our parents.
Yeah, because whenever they stop us from doing anything, or
It's
anyone
just
who
that
stops us from doing anything.
And literally, it's that, and the emotions we feel when we're in our teens and our 20s, it's just
Spiraling.
it's spiraling, and I don't think we can ever feel those emotions.
Yeah, I don't think I can feel the same kind of energy also again.
Ever. That energy, those emotions are just something else. And I feel like, I'm sorry, I've completely lost my
No,
train
no,
of
no,
thought.
no. I was asking that, are we capable of hating our parents? Or
Yes, so on a generic level.
on generic level, we're talking about the teens and how we
generic
function.
level, whether trauma, no trauma, whatever, whatever it is,
Whatever terms.
broken family or no parents or whatever trauma. That's just generalized trauma. I think it's just very normal for teenagers to rebel against parents.
Rebel is the word, technically.
Rebel, and that rebellion can
Can be without a cause also.
can absolutely without a cause, and it can very easily turn into hate.
Okay.
It can very easily turn into hate. So that is at a very surface generic level. But when it comes to trauma and it's very easy to hate your parents when you're
Coming from the space of trauma.
when you come from trauma, when you know there's something wasn't right, something wasn't right. It's very easy. It's extremely easy, but it's extremely easy. It's extremely difficult to forgive.
I was coming to that. When
It's extremely difficult to
your
forgive.
ma's not there to have this conversation with you,
Yes.
but at some given point, were you able to gather yourself to have this conversation with your father about forgiveness and how you feel as an individual, as a son, somebody who feels let down? Like, at some point, could you do that to yourself? Could you bring yourself to do that?
You know what? I couldn't, because I never shared that relationship. Even though I've never mentioned this on camera, but yes, I'm very okay to mention it. I've never shared, even though we made amends and tried to form a bond and stuff like that. It was still. I couldn't have those conversations with him, and it's okay. It's okay. It's just the nature of the situation. But
But the regret as you
but coming back to
forgiveness.
forgiving, it's extremely easy to hate, and it is extremely difficult to forgive
Oh yes, and forget.
and forget. I would advise something though that has helped me
Yes, please, and maybe anyone who's watching
with
this.
trauma, and especially when it's so deep rooted trauma that it'll stay with you for the rest of your life, and you have no choice but to keep on healing and try to heal. And the only advice I would give for people going through a similar situation, or it's difficult to forgive, but you have to forgive. You have to be the bigger person. We have to be the bigger people, and we have to forgive, but don't forget.
But isn't
Don't
it
forget.
somewhere then you're
People
also
say forgive
harboring?
and forget. Don't forget, because if you forget, then you are dishonoring the emotions you went through.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I can certainly say that hate never happened with me. It did.
Sure, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You those emotions were real.
And we know what we all must have been through.
Those
in our-
emotions were, yeah, absolutely, they're real. They
terrifying.
They destroy you. They tear you apart. What? Don't forgive. Unless you're in a position where it's a where you're okay. A person like me, I couldn't forget. I don't think I'll ever forget. But I have forgiven.
And maybe sometimes you also forgive for your own peace. You have to.
Yes. Forgive. Give good energies. Give positive energies. Forgive. Give बुरी नज़र और बुरी सोच मत रखो. Give away good energies. Forgive. Don't forget. Respect the emotions you went through. That's what I'm doing for me. That's what helps me. I respect.
I take that. It's a beautiful thing.
I
you're
respect
doing.
the emotions I went through.
Prateik, I was going through your filmography. There is a certain pattern with your characters. Have you realized?
I have not. Please
They're a
enlighten
little-
me.
They are a little flawed. There's always a internal turmoil they are going through, there is a certain chaos, or I would say maybe a little broken here and there. Does such kind of parts, when they come your way in a certain way, maybe a little bit of it in some role you're playing, do they reopen the past wounds? Or is there a way of
You know, I
healing
have
yourself?
never thought of that. Now, I am going to look at all the filmography.
Like when I
and
went
look
through
at-
like Chichore, I was reading through, then I was doing this India lockdown, and I'm like, or maybe the negative roles you do, that there's just a bit of like an unhealed
Yes, sure.
part.
Sure.
Or maybe it's my observation, could be completely
No,
wrong.
I'm actually, that's a great observation, and I'm going to explore that some more and look at my films and think about my characters some more. But you know, I haven't really put a thought into it. But definitely, yes, I have many a times felt in the different characters that I've played have kind of made me think about my own life, and you know, I think all an actor has is his and her life to draw from, to draw
Yes.
experiences from, to draw inspiration from. You know, I think that's all we have, and of course we have. I mean,
The other works
the-
also
the-
to see. And yeah.
absolutely, and the world and worlds and generations and films and people and brilliant minds, and but I think sorry, again, lost my chain of thought. This is
Yeah.
ADHD. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. We were just talking about that. There are like, I personally find that there is a certain tonality to your characters where somewhere it feels like,
Yes, there you go.
yeah, you're opening some
There
broken
you go.
wounds.
Yeah. I don't know if I've consciously chosen them. Maybe they've come to me, and maybe you see hints, and you see kind of you
As you just said that we have a certain part to like our personal experiences
Yes.
say a certain part.
Yes.
So maybe you're attracting them like a bit of,
maybe yeah. That's it's very interesting observation. Yeah, but definitely I have definitely felt like I have enough material for inspiration from
Oh, yes.
from my own life, of all kinds of ups and downs, and you know, yeah. I recently did a film that is just released and doing really well, actually. I played
Yes, with Nani, yes.
with Nani. He's a maniac. The character is an absolute maniac. But then again, his craziness is justified because of his backstory. And then when obviously the backstory is not shown, and I wish it was, because it's an amazing backstory. But I related to that backstory because it had extreme trauma. There was extreme trauma in his backstory, and it had something to do with his parents and stuff like that. So I did relate. I'm like, okay, maybe I can use those feelings of anger somewhere, what I felt. And I'm angry throughout. this character he's an angry guy. You know, yeah. So yeah. You know, you somehow
Somewhere
you figure it
there,
out. Yeah, you
you
figure it out. You know how to. You know how to. Fortunately, I have found a balance where I don't get carried away, and and fortunately it's the goddesses and gods
goddesses and God.
and my guardian angels.
You were able to find, I would say like
Yes.
somewhere a
Somewhere.
sweet spot.
Sweet spot, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I sorry to, I just want to
Yes,
touch on
please.
something. Sorry,
Please.
I just thought of something that is known to all of us in an actor's life, I guess, and especially a method actor's life. You kind of leave a piece of you, you know, that and that kind of character stays with you,
Yes.
and you kind of leave a piece of you on that movie set or that set. And it may, you know, it may affect you, and it may bring about positive and negative changes. You know, But I have done some extremely intense characters, but fortunately, nothing has taken a toll on me. And even this had
I've
all
seen this. It was mad.
Did you see it?
Yes.
It had all the elements
It was, as
for
you
me
said,
to
Maniac
come
was
back
right.
home and become a crazy, violent person. And I am just extremely fortunate that I have, I don't know what it is, again, maybe my guardian angels, but I have, it doesn't come home with me. It doesn't come back home with me because I have heard of actors that...
Yes,
that
they do. They do carry it home.
they do carry it home. I have heard of actors that have completely changed, that have, it's taken a toll on their body,
Yes.
on their mental, on
Like I
their
remember
physical.
Ranveer once said that getting out of Padmavat became a nasty business because he just couldn't separate himself. It became too dark for him. Like
As
he's like,
the-
I just
as
couldn't
Khilji.
figure out why. Yeah.
Khilji. And it's a known phenomenon. It's not, it's known.
It is known.
It's happened. People
It's
have
an
died.
all-consuming passion. Ultimately, what is acting? It's an
I mean,
all-consuming passion.
absolutely. I mean, the late, great Heath Ledger, God rest his amazing soul. I mean,
Nobody
look-
can say anything more than that.
I mean, it does. I have always doubted Daniel Day Lewis retired because it kind of got to him,
Yes.
because the kind of roles he did
Oh
his
my
entire
God,
life. Look at the kind of commitment he had for his characters and his what he brought to the table. I don't know. This is my
Like even for that matter, Bale, the kind of,
Bale.
oh my God, the physical transformations
Exactly.
it scares you.
It scares you, and some people can do it. Some people, and I don't know if I don't know who I am, which kind of person I am. And maybe I'm too young. Maybe later on things will
You'll
start
be able to
affecting.
explore. Yeah,
maybe
no.
things will start affecting me more, or But I somewhere always thought Daniel Day Lewis retired because it was getting too much for him.
Too much consume. Do you think that in just relation to this one, was there a movie at a point or a project at a point in your career which actually saved you from the demons of what I could understand you were battling by yourself alone for such a larger part of your
I
life?
still am. I'm not. It's not. It's
not. It'll never
it's
go.
a work in progress.
Oh yes,
But
humans are work in
absolutely.
progress.
But I wear it as I wear it like a badge of honor now. And I'm proud about it.
Any film, not necessarily yours. Sometimes there is something. It just helps you float.
Yeah.
Float through.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's been a few of those actually. I can't really put a finger on it.
If you could give me a few records before we leave.
Yes.
This is an file conversation suddenly, so yes, I think I can take those records from you.
I always I go to the extreme. I will watch something so stupid and diabolical, something like an Austin Powers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you know what I mean? And Jim Carrey was my
He's a healing.
He healed me. I kid you not, that man has healed me for many years. Many years. And I miss that man on screen. I miss him on screen. He's healed me. He's healed a lot of people.
I was coming to that. He was just come on screen and you have a smile on your face.
He's healed a huge part of this world, man.
So I think we will credit this one to Jim Carrey for sure.
1000%. 1000%. That man that man is a special man. I wish him only happiness, man.
Yes.
People like that deserve happiness.
But there are very rare people like
And
that,
rare,
even in the
absolutely.
business for that matter as well.
Absolutely.
Lastly, as we close this conversation, because I know we are short on time and I'm going to do this someday again with you
Absolutely.
to discuss films in
I
general.
look forward to it.
Something has caught my eye, so I need to ask you before I leave. There's these beautiful tattoos.
Yes.
For somebody
are-
who loves to get inked, which I think I can figure out by
Yes,
now.
yes.
Does every tattoo has a meaning?
Yes, it does. I have a few, unfortunately. I call them my cool bad decisions.
Okay. And what I know you
the-
can't
the-
show
the-
many of them, but what was the coolest bad decision?
Coolest bad decision is, I think, this one, because this really hits hard when I think about life. It's fate.
Yes. But I think then you have braved it as well.
Fate. Fate was was a tricky player in my life, you know.
Along with the gods and goddesses and
Goddesses,
God
goddesses
and the guardian angels.
Goddesses, gods, and the guardian angels. This one, but yeah, everything has a meaning. This is no one. Now I can brag about this one. This is my wife. I love Priya Banerjee till infinity. Heart PB infinity. अभी मैं खुल के बोल सकता. This is my. अभी तो ये सब निकालना पड़ेगा. But I have a few. Yes, this is a tiger. This is my Chinese zodiac, 1986 year of the tiger. These are my. I'm obsessed with skulls because I feel like skulls will protect me from all the demons. I have Kalima. Yeah.
Yes, that I'm aware. I have seen in one of the pictures.
Who genuinely protects me from my demons. I have a Shivji. He's sitting in Padmasana and meditating.
Eternal calmness.
I have my grandfather was my grandfather called us runaway Kshatriyas. You know the
Yes, of
caste,
course.
Kshatriya, the warrior caste. So he called us runaway Kshatriyas. And even if we are not, I still feel, because I'm a warrior, I feel like I'm a
Of course, you are a warrior.
So I have Kshatriya over here.
Wow.
I have
So the body is the canvas for all the emotions we feel.
Yeah, I have. I have a few. Yeah, and they have a story. I might get a few more.
Few more.
Yes, and hopefully I think I'll be the only Bollywood actor with inked all over. This was fun.
This was fun.
So much fun. Yes,
I'm closing
thank you.
this. Could you give me just one last line or something which is personally I'm asking you for?
Yes.
We spoke about trauma, we spoke about healing, we spoke about therapy. And I hope this interview reaches people who it could help them in some way to navigate their emotions.
I really wish it does.
Is this something you want to maybe, I won't say your younger self, but maybe any younger kid out there who's battling this confused state of emotions and is unable to find a way out?
Just love yourself. Don't doubt. I mean, I know it's difficult. बहुत कठिन है अपने आप से प्यार करना, especially जब चीज़ें अच्छी नहीं लगती हैं अपने आप के बारे में और situations, circumstances अच्छी नहीं लगते हैं तो
We start hating ourselves.
लेकिन it's very important. Selfish बनो और अपने आप से प्यार करो. पू होना है लाइफ में. पू है ना. मैं अपने आप की फेवरेट हूँ. वो जिंदगी में बनना है. बहुत बचपन से अपने आप का फेवरेट होना है. वो जो कुछ भी हो. And the beauty about that is, even if you're going through something, if you're just, I love myself, it becomes easier.
I learned it the hard way, but I think I understand this now.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It becomes easier. You're going through something and you hate yourself, तो यार वो मतलब.
Oh God, those years were depressing.
You know what I mean?
But in last
Okay,
year,
I'm going through something, but I love myself.
But I'm fab.
I'm amazing. I'm proud of myself. ये मैं हूँ.
And we'll navigate it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
सब हो जाएगा यार, देखा जाएगा. सब
रब रखा.
देवी और देव देख रहे हैं सब देवियाँ देख रहे हैं, देव देख रहे हैं, सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
एंड मैं होप करती हूँ कि मैं इसके बाद आपको ज़रूर फिर से देखूँ, मिलूँ और थोड़ी सी और फिल्मों की बातें करूँगी मैं आपसे. सिर्फ आई थिंक बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में हम बात कर सकते हैं.
I look forward to it.
Yes, to the characterizations of all things we have spoken. But thank you, wishing you all the luck in life.
Thank you.
Thank you
Such
for
a
your
pleasure.
time.
So much fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Prateik Smita Patil and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble.